Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is November 25th, 2020, and we're on episode 137, I believe. Today we're going to take a look at Shang-Chi versus Sister Dagger versus zombie vampires. This is number 3 in the series here that was rebooted. Just want to say I'm really enjoying it. This is a recommend right off the bat. We get this nice action shot here. If you recall, Shang-Chi has 4 brothers and sisters, and one of them has been killed off so far. But we get a nice look here of his. He is the master of the hand, meaning he is the martial arts expert in hand-to-hand combat. His sister, Esme, is the master of daggers. And we see in the background here, I don't know if you can really see it, but there's some ghoulish looking things. They're calling them zombie vampires. They are dead soldiers from Chinese dead soldiers that have been brought back to life, reanimated, and are actually under the control of who's ever brought them back to life, basically. So, real quick here, we have Shang-Chi, the brother Saber, who's also known as Takahashi, I think. Sister Dagger, who's also known as Esme. Sister Hammer, and I can't remember her name, is something Shi Hua. And Zheng Zhu, who's mostly a ghost in this. He's got his own little backstory. Killed his own brother. He killed off his first set of offspring. These are the latest incarnation of that. And also, Sister Hammer has also killed off brother's staff. Now it happened in the first issue. So Sister Hammer is definitely the heavy in here. Her outpost is stationed in Russia, and you get a little blurb here of what happened, which is nice. I really like these recaps, especially when you're reading a lot of different comics. It's kind of getting things mixed up. The writer on this has been excellent. I'm just calling Gene Yang. Forget that. I don't know if it's Luan, but Jean Luen Yang is the writer, and I'm not sure about this one, if it's Daik Ruan or Daike Ruan, I'm not sure. And the flashback artist is Philip Tan. So we get this story's been awesome. Been really enjoying it. This will probably be a short review, but you can see the art in it is just exquisite for a comic book. They start off talking about the Eight Nations War in this issue, the Peking year 1900. And Eight Nations War is also known as the Boxer Rebellion, where 8 nations came through and attacked China, basically. And there was a rebel uprising to try to stave off the invading nations. And they talk about the nations being England, Japan, France, Russia, Germany, Italy, Austria, and America. So I want to call this I'm drawing a blank, but Sun Tzu's children also partake in this battle, and they lose their lives in this. I think he's had more than 2 generations of children go through this, if I'm not mistaken. If you remember, Sun Tzu also made himself immortal. In this one drawing here, you can see them all fleeing to one of the shrines. They heard it's under attack, and you go here, and it almost looks like this guy's a giant, but it's just the weird perspective of the way this character back here is drawn. The folds in his pants actually look like part of the cape of this guy coming in, but they're actually running in behind him, but he still looks like some kind of giant. And Sun Tzu has run to the brother's shrine, his brother that he murdered, and he gets mad at one of his children, which he's pretty cruel guy. I mean, he's killed his children off, he's killed his brother, and he admits to killing his brother now because he's weak, and he knocks down Brother Saber, or at least this rendition of Brother Saber, because he feels he's been weak and letting his soldiers he felt his soldiers did not fight hard enough to stave off the invaders from all the other nations. So then we come back, and they mention how it's set up now, the modern system, where one house of the deadly hand remains in China. The house of the deadly staff is now in England. That's when we saw it get basically taken over in the first issue. And then the house of the deadly hammer in Russia. Maybe it might have been the second issue. I believe it was the first issue. And the house of the deadly saber is in Japan. And finally, the last house of the deadly dagger is in France, and it's 20 miles from Paris behind a waterfall. So that's where Shang-Chi, Shang-Chi, sorry, had to take another look at that, has retreated to. And Brother Saber and Sister Dagger have brought him here. They remember they saved him from certain death from Sister Hammer in issue 2. And he's got some kind of infection going on. She put some kind of mystical wound on him, so he's been fighting that off. In the meantime, they're taught how to fight off the Jiang, I believe they're called, which are these vampire zombies. They've been reanimated back to life, and they do a practice run here under the guidance of one of the masters of one of these shrines, in the one in Paris, in fact. And the way they take them down is they've got these flyers that have their paper amulets marked by chicken's blood, and they put it straight to the forehead, as you can see here. So this is a test run, and they do very well in it. And we get to see his wound is festering in it, and it's continuing to get worse. And as it does fester in this case, he starts seeing the ghost of his uncle. I believe it's his uncle. It might be his father. It's hard to tell. They kind of go back and forth with the different spirits, but I think it might be his immortal uncle that has finally been killed by Shang-Chi. And I believe it was kind of accidental. It wasn't on purpose. Here, his Sister Dagger is not very happy. She feels she's being left out. She's feeling that Shang-Chi is not doing his part because he's supposed to be the leader of all the clans. And he doesn't want to do it. He wants to be through with it. He wants to lead a normal life. So as he's talking to this ghost, the ghost is telling him he wants him to come visit him. And he shows him this map, this mystical map. He takes a picture of it. And Sister Dagger comes in, and she's still pissed off about everything. And she's throwing daggers at him. He says, forget it. I don't want to fight her. I'm out of here. And leaves, basically. And he goes to a library that's close by in Paris to check out that map to find out something. He's calling his old pal at the English MI6. I believe her name is Leiko, and asking her to run program against the map that he's showing her to find out exactly where this is so he can go visit it. In the meantime, she tells him, hey, your family, they're at the Louvre now, and things aren't looking good. So we go over to the Louvre, and Shang-Chi jumps in, trying to stop Sister Hammer, who's looting one of the wings that has a Chinese ancestral exhibit going on. They're actually looking for the urn that is containing the spirit of the dead uncle, and they've got a mystical Jiang with them, or Jiang-Shi. I'm not sure how you say that, but he starts having feel the effects of his wound again at this point, and it has something to do with her, Sister Hammer, I believe. Just in time, though, Brother Saber and Sister Dagger come in and help him stave off the attackers. Now, there doesn't appear to be any vampire or zombies in this section as they're fighting in the Louvre, but the two brothers and sister are able to take down the attackers fairly easy. A lot of ads in this, boy. It just kind of wrecks it. As you can see here, Shang-Chi talks about them fighting as they're one unit, like they're interconnected. One throws a blow, and the second later, the other one does a kick, the other one does a sword swipe, and they just take everybody down without any problems. At this point, they're trying to stop the sister, but unfortunately, what they were looking for, what the sister was looking for, has been found and given to this ghost. And before Shang-Chi can react, the sister hammer and this ghost disappear together. So they're left with the mystery, what's going on here, and they take a look at Shang-Chi. He actually saves the brother and sister once more. Let me go back one thing, because when his sister hammer leaves, they have a huge explosion, and he blocks the explosion. So that's pretty much the story on this. Very good, very action-packed. As you can see, the art is just really nice. I mean, just even silhouette art there, stunning. Just like really all the way through, the action scenes are nice. Really liked it. So I'm picking all these pictures that have ads in it. Even the scenes that they don't really do anything have a lot of action. They're not just yelling at each other, or they have a lot of elements that you need to know to understand the story, not just arguing back and forth between characters. Boy, another ad. Just so there's a lot of ads in here. But let's take a look at the next cover that's coming up for here. Get this centered. And not quite sure what's going on here, but this is next month. So hopefully they don't lose another sibling. But it's been really good so far, so I've been enjoying it, and I hope you will too if you are reading this. I hope you are enjoying it as much as I am, because it just seems to be a really good book. So, as always, please like, please subscribe, please leave comments. And once again, this is Indie Comics Jones from the Temple of Tomes, bidding you adieu.